Hello again. Topic for today's video is going to be this saw. It's a 266 XP I just picked up. It's in really nice shape. It was missing a bar nut. I'm probably going to pull that bar nut back off because it's off of one of my saws. And it's missing one screw here. That's probably my fault. It's in really good shape. Runs really nice. Got the 610 here beside it. It also has a 24-inch bar on it. Because I was going to do a little bit of a comparison today, and I didn't really have a chance to even get the 610 off the truck. Because I wanted to make sure that this was running good. Because I probably have it sold already. I have a really nice SE. Not that this isn't nice. This is a really nice example of a saw. It's really clean, and the decals are all still here. Usually this cover will be busted, decals missing, this decal will be missing, and if it has the XP decal, it's usually beat up. And it's a 300 anniversary top cover. I don't think this saw is actually a 300 anniversary saw. Might be, I don't know without pulling the numbers, but I'm probably going to catch a little flack for this, but I don't think these saws are that off in power. Now, this saw is bigger displacement. 61 cc's versus 66 and a half or something like that. This has a 24-inch bar. This has a 24-inch bar. That's Husky mount. This is Mac mount, which makes this 81 drivers and that 84. I am going to do a video of probably not this saw, but probably my SE, which is a very good running example. It's actually probably a little bit stronger than this, and do a comparison between these two. This uses more gas. That vibrates more. These 610s are a very smooth saw for being rubber mounted. It has a really primitive handle isolation, so this handle is not actually attached to the power head other than by rubber mounts. Not unlike this, but this physically has more mounts. It's got one big one here, one big one here. This is isolated, and then it has another couple of mounts down here. It's just smoother. Those are easier to come by parts without looking very hard. 266s are one of the saws that there is a lot of aftermarket support for, where there's just a billion of them out there. So if you look hard enough, you can find just about anything you want. Like I said, I'm going to do a run one, stop, pick the other one up, run it. As fair as a comparison as I can do with the very lacking skills that I have with my videomanship. Like I said, this uses a lot less fuel. You get farther on a tank of gas than you do with that. Now let's see how much fuel is left in this, because it was almost dry when I went up there and I topped the tanks off. And it is just about out of fuel. It probably would have made another 2 or 3 small cuts. And I did about 3/4 of a truckload stacked in a short box pickup of mine. But just figured I'd show this saw off a little bit. I picked it up at a swap meet. I didn't give a whole heck of a lot for it, so I'm going to give somebody the opportunity to have it at a little bit of a under market value. These are a lot more expensive to buy running than those are. That saw, 610, you usually can pick up a good running one for $100 or less. I would not pay more than $100 for a running 610. unless it is mint. 266s on the other hand, if they're in very good shape like this one, like I said, this one's dirty. I was cutting with it. It would clean up really, really nice and be a nice shelf clean for somebody if they so desired. You're going to pay somewhere at least $200 and up. If you go to a shop right now, there's probably going to be a $400 price tag on a 266, at least in my area. They're just not as cheap as they once were. A decade ago, when I bought my 61, I paid $200 for it, and that was good money for a 61 at the time. But I bought it from a reputable shop that had went through it and made sure it was good. So that's why I paid up for it. Now, a good running 61, sorry, itch my nose, that's all there. You're gonna pay at least 2.5, most of the time 3 for a one that's nice shape. Saws are just hot items right now. They're expensive, but those 610s, they're cheap, they're easy to work on, and the problem that they usually have, at least in my area when I get them, is the oiler is out, and it's under the air cover cleaner, or air cleaner cover. So they're just a couple bolts and you got them in and out. They're easy to do. They can be finicky to tune. Mine is not. I have to tune my saw about twice a year, other than a minor tweak of a jet. I let it warm up when I first started up, you know, blip the throttle a couple times, let it sit on the ground, sit there and idle for a minute or two before I actually stick it in any wood. Usually I just I gas it up and I start it and let it sit there and idle while I'm gassing up other saws, and then I do the same thing with them. I let them sit there and idle for a minute, get close to operating temperature before I shut them off and run the saw I want to run for the day. Usually I have to turn the high jet and the low jet out a little bit when the weather starts to cool off, which for us will be in about another month and a half. Because it's end of September, almost October when I'm videoing this. But that 266, I don't know what fuel they were running. I did pull the plug before I gassed it up. It was a little dirty, not dirty as in carboned up, but dirty as in black. My plugs usually aren't black in my personal saws when I pull them out. I think it's just a dirtier oil. I think it was burning clean enough. I just think it was leaving black on the plug, which is probably just me being picky, but it was actually a little lean up top, so I richened it up probably just a squeak, probably 1/8 of a turn, maybe a little more than an 1/8, and then I got it where I like it running, which is probably a 1/16 of a turn rich, or a little more than that. And if it was mine, if I was going to run it every day, I would richen it up another 1/8 of a turn, just because I don't run my saws anywhere close to the ragged edge of lean. And those 200 series, they seem to like a little more fuel up top. If you don't mind a 1/2 second slower in the cut, if a 1/2 second slower, I think they actually like a little fatter tune. But it runs good, it takes a tune just fine. I've run it for probably 1/2 tank of gas, shut it off, let it heat soak and start it back up. Make sure I don't have any air leaks, and I don't. So like I said, I am going to get a comparison video, probably not with that particular 266, but my personal one. But I just figured I would let you guys know, and thanks for that. Bye.